Let's look at the state of server-side languages and frameworks here in 2024. You can look at my chart and see 2022, then there was ChatGPT, so the LLM explosion, on to today. So I've got some different lines here. So which language is with which sort of, in this graph? So I'll start out, actually, I guess I'll label the bottom first. And what I'll label here is this is .NET. And, so sort of steady kind of flow there, maybe, somewhere in the less than 10% range, honestly more like the 5% range. And then this bottom line, I'm just going to label it other, and that includes Java and other mature languages that we're just not seeing a lot in the startup space. So who are these two big boys that crossed? Well, what's going on here is that the leader, when, as of a couple of years ago and when we started Fraction, this was JavaScript. So JS, and I'll just call it JS/TS. So JavaScript, TypeScript on the server side, whether that be via Node.js, via serverless, all sorts of approaches. But JavaScript, TypeScript on the server side, that was king of the hill as of a couple of years ago, probably 2/3 of everybody we were hearing from. And then who is it that sort of exploded upward and has taken, I think, a slight lead? They're sort of like maybe 50%, 45% in terms of market share or something, maybe 50 and 40. Well, that is Python. So this has been a huge shift that we've seen. And the catalyst was large language models and ChatGPT. That just led to an explosion, an absolute explosion, as we know, in LLM interest. Now, the funny part is you can do most of the dev that teams are doing in terms of just calling OpenAI, stuff like that. You can do that on any stack. And JavaScript is fine. Python is fine as well. But I think what happened is that LLMs kind of caused this explosion of interest and the recognition that, hey, Python is sort of the native language of data engineering and machine learning. So caused that explosion in interest, even if teams aren't doing heavy-duty LLM work in-house today. Maybe they're just calling OpenAI, but it leaves that door open and also enables their data engineering so that, when they want to bring a model in-house, it's that much easier. So that's what we're seeing. Having said that, it's not as though full stack, JavaScript or TypeScript is incapable of those things, but it's sort of Python native when it comes to the machine learning world. .NET is down here, sort of like this fixed constant that we see with essentially Microsoft-oriented shops sticking with it. Microsoft is making a lot of their Azure ML tools sort of available in .NET at the same time as they support other languages like Python. So that access is there. And then with other languages, mature languages like, say, a Java, something like that, they're out there. They're in the enterprise. We're not seeing new projects start with them, so very few startups are embracing that today. But hey, at scale, some of those languages, are quite performant. So at the end of the day, what's the best language? Answer, the one you already know. So stick with it if you have something good in place. But if you're thinking about a new project, just know that Python is now king of the hill.